So it says I have 5 viewers. Sandbag time. If you guys can hear me again, I'll just do a sound check. If you guys could just comment, that would be helpful. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Jess. So before we get started, I'll just read our disclosure. I did put it in the description. It's not showing up on my computer, so if it doesn't show up, I'll just post it later for this, but I'll read it out here. In response to COVID-19, PSP is offering telefitness to Canadian Armed Forces members. By using social media platforms, the telefitness classes tailored to Canadian Armed Forces personnel become accessible to all. Prior to participating in this session and to make an informed decision on whether you should seek advice from a qualified exercise professional or healthcare provider, consult the Get Active questionnaire of the Canadian Society of Exercise Physiology and its reference document. Simply by clicking the links, which again should be in the description or comments once they're put up or showing. By continuing with this telefitness class, you understand that there is a possibility of physical injury, and you agree that you do so voluntarily at your own risk. You also assume all the risk of injury and agree to release the Canadian Forces Morale and Welfare Services from any and all claims related to your participation in this telefitness class. So today, it is a force-based workout. We're not really going to be doing too much force movements. Honestly, I have a living room, we'd be doing burpees. So what I wanted to do today is just give you guys a few exercises that you can do to improve your sandbag lift. They consist of hip openers, some glute activation, and some knee stability. So as I posted in the comments, all you need is a yoga mat if you have, and or some sort of padded surface just to protect your knees. And if you have a Bosu ball or some sort of stability platform, you can use it later on. If not, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to use it. It's just to make things a little harder. So I am a little raspy and grainy today, again, just like last week. Don't worry too much if I have to take my inhaler. My allergies and asthma are definitely getting the best of me. So we will get started. We are going to be starting with some hip openers. So you can just find your place on your yoga mat and I'll give you some direction. So first one we are going to do, so you are going to get into a kneeling position here. Just bring your knees out nice and wide. Your toes are going to be together, just in a triangle shape there. So from this position here, you're just going to press your hands out about 180 degrees from your elbows. You're just going to sit back onto your heels as far as you can go. You're just going to push, hold for 2, 3, bring it back up, and try to rock forward as far as you can. So again, we're starting about 180 degrees. We're going to sit back onto our heels there, and then we're going to rock forward as far as we can. And all we're doing here is opening up the hips. Go ahead and just do a few of those at your own pace. Really focusing on pushing forward, squeeze the glutes, core is activated, and bring it back down. So this is a good exercise that you can add into your force warm-up. We do give you guys that quickly leg warm-up before your force test. And then we always say you have like 5-7 minutes to do anything extra. These exercises are perfect for that timing if you find you have tight hips, maybe your knees are a little unstable. And these exercises can go along with the other components of the force test as well. So we're going to do 3 more of these. Here's 2 and 3. Good. So next one, we're just going to find a seated position here. You're going to bring your feet out nice and wide. We did this a few weeks ago, but we're going to do them again. And again, you want to sit up nice and tall, chest up. You can have your hands out, crossed on your chest, on the ground for extra stability there. It's completely up to you. But all we're going to do is we're just going to shift over towards one side, touch both knees down again if you can. If you can't, just go as far as you can. Shift back to center, and then other side. And it's okay if your glutes lift off the ground, that's perfectly fine, but we want our knees to touch and just to force that hip down, just adding a little bit of mobility. And again, at your own pace, just go ahead and do a few of these reps. Make sure you're pausing as both knees touch the ground. It's a bit of a stretch, but we're only holding for about 2 to 3 seconds. And these will just help kind of warm up all components of our hip. And again, we are activating our glute, because if we're not, that's going to be a little painful, and your knee's not going to be able to touch the ground if you don't activate. And we'll do one more per side. And last one here. Good, just shake it out. Maybe bounce the knees a little bit, it's up to you. Next one, we are going to get into an upright plank. So again, wrists are always stacked under our shoulders. We're just going to go into a bit of a high plank. So you want your hips piked a little bit. So we're not in downward dog, we're not in a full upright plank. Pike just a bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring our toes to the edge of our mat, or slightly wider than shoulder width. And we're just going to sit our hips back as far as we can. Pause at the bottom. Pop back up. So here we're activating our glutes, quads to the front of our legs, and we are opening up the hips. Again, at your own pace, just go ahead and do a few. You are going to be pushing weight into both hands as well, so you're not sliding. And we'll do one more. Good. All right. Just bring it to a kneeling position. We'll do a counter stretch. Good. Next one, going into a bit of a sumo squat, but what we're going to do is we're going to step out nice and wide, toes pointed out. And you're just going to sit down as low as you can. Grab the insides of your feet if comfortable. Try to get your chest pointed up. You're just going to rock it side to side. Further opening up the hips. Good. Stand it up. Shake it out. And we'll do a few more. Sit down nice and low, side to side. So again, if our hips aren't open, maybe they're too tight, we're not activated, our chance of injury on our sandbag lift is quite high, especially if we are hinging more than we're squatting. Our lower back's just at risk. So we'll do this one more, just get down low, rock it side to side. Good, and sit it back down, just into a stretch. Good, so those are 4 hip openers, again, that you can add to your warm-up, maybe do in between tasks, or just add into your daily workouts, just to help with opening of the hips and increase that mobility. Next category we're going to go into our glute activators. First one, we're just going to go into a glute bridge. So laying down onto your back, ankles are stacked under the knees, about hip width apart. You can place your hands onto your mat, on your chest. It's completely up to you. But from here, we're just going to dig into our heels and push our hips up towards the ceiling. Nice and high, squeeze the glutes and pause. And bring it back down. We're going to do 9 more, so up for 2, down, up for 3, down, 4, down, 5, back down, 6, down, 7, back down, 3 more, 8, down, 9, back down, and last one, up for 10, and back down. Good. A glute bridge is something you can add different variations to as well. You can go into some marching, some holds, some static holds, anything like that. I'm just minimizing something here so I can see myself. Good. Next glute activator. We're going to lay down onto our stomachs. You can support yourself with your arms or just let your head fall down to the floor. Feet are straight out behind us. We want our toes pointing as far away as possible. So squeezing your right glute as hard as you can. You're just going to lift up your right leg as high as you can. Pause. Lower back down. Same thing for the left. Squeeze. Then lift. And back down. Alternating sides. Just keep going at your own pace for a little bit here. Now on leg lifts, if you're not activating your glutes first and you're just lifting, what you're doing is you're putting your spine at a vulnerable position. So to protect your spine, you want your glutes activated, core activated, and everything in alignment. And what happens when that doesn't happen is the muscles along your spine, your erector spine, start getting overused. And that's when your pelvis and your hips can get tilted anteriorly, posteriorly, and you're just at risk of some injury. As you're lifting your leg as well, you want your hip bone to stay in the ground. You don't want to be cocking your hips open. So again, we're nice and level. And all this is doing is kind of reminding our body that we have to squeeze our glutes first before we do any form of movement. Which again, directly related to the sandbag lift. We want our glutes activated as we lift up the sandbags. That way we're not going into that hinge, we're not falling forward, we're nice and stable, and we're strong. Our glutes are some of the biggest muscles in our body, so we want most of the strength for that movement to come from there. We'll do 2 more each side. Last one. Good. Awesome. Next one, we'll go into a standing position. So for our squat, we want our feet about hip width apart, maybe slightly wider if your hips are tight or you have long legs. Then you're just going to get into your squat position here. Chest is up. We're still nice and tall. Instead of doing a full squat, we're going to do what's called a pulse squat. So we're going to get down, come halfway up, and back down. We're just going to hang out here, shifting up and down, not doing a full squat. We're just going to do the pulse. Good. We're just adding a little bit of heat to our legs. Want our back nice and straight, chest is still up. Good. We'll do a few more. Again, we are activating, so our quads should be burning, our glutes should be burning. Good, and back down, we'll do a counter stretch. Cross one leg over. Twist towards the opposite side. Switch sides. Good. And relax. There are 7 exercises that you can do before your force test, while you're practicing for your force test, just to kind of increase your efficiency on that sandbag lift. We're going to go into some knee stability now. So you can set your mat aside. And if you want to wear shoes, you can. It's up to you. I'm going to put shoes on. And this is where our balance platform is going to come into play. Good. So knee stability, highly important for all of our movement, especially movements like in the force test where it's stop and go. You're lifting a heavy load, then you're not, then you're running. If we have any instabilities in our knees, that's really going to show when we're doing those movements. So just 2 exercises that we can do to help prevent that knee from flowing too freely. So first one, we're just going to step onto one leg, slight bend in the knee. This is going to be your starting position if you do not have a balanced platform. If you do, and you have a BOSU or a stability platform, you can just get into that position on that platform as well. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to do a tri-step. So the foot that is lifted, you're going to step out, bring it back in, to the side, back to the center, and reverse, back to the center. So just flow through that a few times, nice and slow, and reverse. Now you want that slight bend in your knee, you don't want to be locked out. We should always have that slight bend in the knee for that extra stability. And the muscles that are surrounding our knee joint are working and they are activated. Good, keep going. If you're finding it easy as well, you can sink down into more of a squat, whether you are on your platform or you're just standing on the floor. That's up to you. And we'll do one more full round here. Good, you can step off that platform if you're using one. Just shake out that foot. When we do a lot of balance or stability exercises, our feet start to work in ways that we aren't really accustomed to. So you can get that little bit of burning sensation, that's normal. Now we're going to switch sides. So again, on one foot, just sink into that knee. And we're going to kick out, to the side, and reverse. Our glutes are activated. We are squeezing the front of our legs as we kick out. To the side, our side glute here, inside, activated, and reverse. Emphasize that glute squeeze. Again, at your own pace, just keep going. Again, if you want to make it harder, you can sink down a little lower. If you find you're shaking a little bit, maybe wobbling, again, that's normal too. That goes away. The more you do it, the better. We'll do one more full round. Good. Step off that platform or just shake out your feet. Next one we'll do, I call it the scoop. We're going to do a reverse scoop and a forward scoop. So again, if you don't have a platform, you can just stand that one leg, slight bend in the knee. If you do have a platform, go ahead and step on. Slight bend in that knee. Now what you're going to do is you're going to kick that elevated foot out. You're going to scoop it around, bring it back to the front. If you don't have that platform, you're stepped out, scoop, try to dip down, and bring it up. Almost like you're skating. So again, knees bent, kick out, scoop around. Now we're adding a little bit of that shift to that bottom knee, just to work that stability. For example, in our sandbag lift, as we shift side to side, if we do have an issue with our knees and they're unstable, adding that side to side movement, that stop and go, again, puts us at risk of that injury. Keep going at your own pace. We'll do 3 more. Good. Step off, shake it out. Good, and we'll switch sides. Same thing. Step on the platform or just get into your position. Slight bend in the knee. Kick that elevated leg out. Circle and dip around. One side will be better than the other. That's just the way we are built. Now as you do the movement, try to keep your toes pulled up towards your knee. You don't want to kick that foot out into extension. We want it flexed. Dogs are barking outside. We'll do 3 more. Good. Step off that platform. Shake it out. Now we will do the reverse. So exact same position, exact same start. This time, you're just going to kick that leg out and scoop it around. Again, if you're not on a platform, kick it out, dip down, scoop it up, out, around, and up. Again, at your own pace, go ahead and just do a few reps. Now, what we don't want happening too much on these movements is that side to side. If you find you are going side to side too much, all you'll do is you'll complete the rep, stand up tall, restart, complete the rep. That little bit of a reset is just going to help you keep your stability a little better. We'll do 3 more reps on this side and then we'll switch. Good. Step off or just get out of that position, shake it out, and we will switch sides. So again, slight bend in the knee, kick that leg out and around. Again, these are exercises that are very good to throw into any kind of warm-up, or even again that 5 to 7 minutes to better prepare yourself for your force test. Three more. Good. Step off. You can put that stability platform aside. Grab your yoga mat again. And we will do a few stretches that'll help with that flexibility and mobility. So we did these just as a counter stretch, but again, we're just going to place both feet together, knees fall down to the floor, shoulders will be rolled back and down for this one, and we're just going to try and pull ourselves up as tall as we can while forcing both knees down to the ground. And just hold. We're going to hold for about 20 seconds and then we'll switch. If we're trying to increase any form of flexibility, our stretches should be held for about 20 seconds minimum to a minute, and you can do a few 2 to 3 repetitions to help kind of improve that movement. Good, and just come out of that stretch, shake it out. Next stretch, just take care of our hamstrings here. You want to force that straight leg down to the ground as much as possible. The leg that's in, you just want it nice and strong as hell. It's still active. We are active when we stretch. And we're just going to take our opposite hand to square off our hips to reach for that front toe. And as you reach for that front toe, you don't want to pull to reach and just over lengthen your shoulder. You still want to be in line. It's more or less you're bringing your chest down to your knee and just trying to reach forward that way. Again, we'll hold for about 20 seconds. Good, switch sides. Again, front leg is nice and straight, opposite leg is activated, opposite hand is square off our hips, and just reach forward, bring your chest down as far as you can. Shoulders are still in alignment. Good, come out of that stretch. So we did our butterfly stretch, lengthened our hamstrings. We'll just bring both feet out, wide fold. Just reach forward as far as you can. Come up out of that stretch. Good. Last one we'll do, just a glute stretch. Cross one leg over, opposite leg can stay down nice and straight. Opposite elbow comes to the outside of that knee, and just twist. So making sure our hips are nice and open and flexible, our hamstrings are flexible, and our glutes aren't too tight. We'll all protect our lower back, especially when it comes to doing sandbag lift. Any kind of lift that we do from the ground up can put our spine at jeopardy, even a pencil, especially if we are too tight. And these are just some basic exercises that you can do with absolutely no equipment, or you can even add a little bit of bands for your hip activation, glute activation. Use a stability platform. Just switch sides on your stretch. You can hold your stretches a little longer. Any sort of variation will benefit you. And again, although our goal is to be faster and better at our force test, we still want to remain injury-free, because that's what's going to benefit us in the long run. Good. Last stretch we'll do, just a hip flexor stretch. You can get into a kneeling position. Bottom leg is down on the floor. Toes are straight behind you. Foot is relaxed. Front foot, toe is nice and straight, pointed forward. Knee is stacking over your ankle. And you're just going to push through this front hip here. Press it forward. Chest is up nice and tall. And you can lean into that front leg a little bit. Make sure your knee is tracking over your toe. We're just going to lengthen from our rib cage all the way down to our knee. Try to make it as long as possible. Again, just a 20-second hold, and then we will switch. And switch sides. Again, knees down, foot straight back and relaxed. Front leg nice and straight, tracking over the ankle. Again, we're lengthening rib cage to our knee. Try to be as long as possible. Good, and relax. Any other stretching you might need to do, again, feel free. You are in your own living room. For these exercises, like I said, stretches can be held about 20 seconds to a minute. 2 to 3 repetitions of each. And then from there, 10 to 15 reps of each of the exercises that we did. You can add bands, that's completely up to you. And I would recommend doing about 2 to 3 sets for each one. My name is Kaitlyn. I am in Wainwright. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you found this helpful. Have a good rest of your day.